Yo guys, welcome back to the Transfer Daily YouTube channel where we bring you all of the latest updates from the football transfer market. So starting off with a story we spoke about yesterday with Omari Hutchinson, and what can we say on this one? So Brentford yesterday sent several approaches to Ipswich over Hutchinson as he's one of the top options to replace Brian Mbeumo, and all of these were rejected. So then the case is that they rejected those approaches, and then Brentford had a £35 million bid rejected, and Omari Hutchinson had a £35 million release clause in his contract, but this was on different payment terms to what Brentford offered. So now that release clause has now expired, so Brentford will have to negotiate with Ipswich and try to get a deal, but Ipswich don't want Omari Hutchinson to leave. On the player side, the player is very keen on a move to Brentford, so let's wait and see what happens with Hutchinson and Brentford. Arsenal then have reached an agreement in principle with Ethan Nwaneri over a new contract, and this was reported by Fabrizio Romano, and Nwaneri and his camp have now agreed to sign a new contract at the club. And we spoke about Lewis, some clubs watching over Chelsea had interest and made contact over that to understand the situation, but Ethan Nwaneri's priority was always to stay at Arsenal despite interest from several clubs, and the only key thing was obviously guarantees over playing time. So that one is done for Arsenal. Now Eberechi Eze is next up. Lorenzo Lucca then is set to join Napoli on a loan with obligation to buy from Udinese. And we know that Napoli were in talks for Darwin Núñez, but the deal for Darwin Núñez is now off due to the financial side of a deal being too much for Napoli. So Napoli do go and sign Lorenzo Lucca, who was always the option after Darwin Núñez. And the agreement is in place for a €9 million loan fee is what they'll pay, and then an obligation to buy worth €26 million with potential add-ons. So a potential deal really going up to around €40 million package after the obligation to buy is triggered at the end of the season. So next up is the medical test for Lucca, and then he will sign a 5-year deal after the agreement has been in place for the last week or so for Lucca on personal terms. So it's a new striker for Napoli. Osman's exit still expected as Galatasaray continue to push, but we also know Saudi is an option for Osman if not. Attacking midfielder then, very talented Argentinian Thiago Almada is set to join Atletico Madrid on a permanent transfer from Botafogo. And for Almada this summer, we know he spent the last half of the season on loan at Lyon, but the plan for Almada was always to leave this summer with concrete options everywhere for Almada, but Atletico Madrid are the team who are going to sign him, and the agreement is done as Atletico Madrid will pay €21 million for 50% of the rights from the Textor Group. So Atleti will pay that, and then eventually in the next years, if he is still there, then they can pay another 50% to get full rights over Thiago Almada. So Almada is a new Atleti player, and it's a great signing, and the player was very keen and was crucial for the move. Also, Simeone was very keen on signing the player. Talks are currently ongoing then between Atletico Madrid and Atalanta over Ademola Lookman, and he's highly appreciated by Atletico Madrid in a separate deal now after the Almada deal. So we know a new centre-back as well is expected at Atleti, but Lookman is also another deal that Atletico Madrid are keen on. And we know for Atalanta, a deal around £50 million is what you're probably looking at for Lookman to leave, because he's a crucial player for Atalanta, but Atletico Madrid are keen on the signing of Lookman. So let's wait and see if there's progress made, but talks are ongoing between the clubs and also on player side, as Diego Simeone is a huge fan of Lookman. So let's wait and see if Atleti progress on that one.